All right, peace and black power, everybody. I want to welcome to another NCRBGZ Productions. Tonight we got a nice show lined up. Got some brothers up here. We're gonna talk about the death of the dollar. Yeah, that's the name of the show, the death of the dollar. Again, like I always say, I want to thank y'all for taking the time out y'all busy schedule to look at the show, to watch the playback. Remember, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, give us a comment. If it's anything that you would like for us to talk about, please leave it in the comment. Give us suggestions. And at the end of the day, this is always a people-friendly show. Everything we do for the people. We don't know it all. We all in a learning phase. We all trying to get somewhere, and we all trying to walk this journey together. With that being said, I want to say peace again to the family. And the name of the show is The Death of the Dollar. So we're going to dive right into the dollar. We're going to dive into digital currency. We're going to talk about fiat currency. We're going to talk about back currency. You know, we're going to talk about it all, the gold standard. You know, we're going to get into it. With that said, I want to give my esteemed colleagues, my panel members, the opportunity to introduce themselves to the family.
It's peace. This Master You out of Victory Allah, or Virginia, some of y'all may call it. So, yep, this year on the live. Looking forward to
Peace, this is True Bone. Just about to drop some science. Yeah, I mean, if y'all don't know, if there's some information, you know what I'm saying, I don't know, I guess the brother here will let me know.
All right, so peace, right back to the family. It's your brother in the back, Cafre Amon out of Philadelphia. So I'm just glad to be a part of the panel. We're discussing digital currencies and the fall of the dollar. Just glad to be a part of it.
All right, with that, man, I thank y'all brothers for taking the time out to even be here, man, because, you know, everybody has a busy schedule. And, you know, I appreciate y'all taking y'all time out to be here, man. And with that being said, you know, we want to jump right into it. You know, as it stands right now, you know, one time the currency of America, it was backed by a gold standard. If one of y'all want to give a history on that, y'all can unmute y'all mic and y'all can, or I'm gonna just give a brief summary. So my brief summary, because I don't know all the dates exactly, but I do know America went from gold-backed currencies where the currency was backed by the gold, and then it switched to they start writing treasury notes, and now the currency was backed by the notes. And now it's at the point they just printing currency. It ain't backed by nothing. We don't have no notes, no secure bonds. All that mess is out the window. They just printing money ridiculously. And as we can see, when we look at around the world, like Venezuela and places, it comes a time when your currency becomes worthless, where it's inflated, and where it's really not worth the dollar. All right, let's deal with the dollar. Like, I know the dollar ain't even worth a dollar. When you look at the history of the dollar, I think the last time I checked, things may have changed, but the last time I looked into it, the dollar was only worth like 80 cents. It might be less than that, but last time I checked, I think it was around 80, 83, 84 cents of a dollar was owed out because America owes a lot of money in debt. And with that being said, you know, we know that right now America is in a crisis and the dollar is hanging on by a thread. It's hanging on for dear life. And the only good thing that America has going for the dollar is something called the petrodollar. The petrodollar is what all the Arab countries are basically using for oil. So when you want to buy oil on the big stage, you have to use the petrodollar as your means of selling your oil. Where in 2018 or 2019, China assumption. So now China consumes more oil than the United States consume with oil. Now, this is where a big problem is coming at that we don't understand, and I don't want to get sidetracked when I get into this, but we don't understand the dynamic between China and the United States, why these trade wars is going on. China is telling Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran that they don't want to purchase oil no more using the petrodollar. They don't want to use it no more because now they're consuming more oil. China wants to use the yuan. They telling them, listen, we're going to buy this oil. Now, I can pull up articles to show you all this, but I'm trying not to. But they saying, if we're going to buy oil, we don't want to use the petrodollar no more. We're going to use yuan. Y'all can jump in at any moment, y'all. Any moment, jump in. But I'm just say this. So I don't know if it was 2017 it was before. It may have been 2016. This has been going on for a couple of years. So now the United States punishes other countries by sanctions. Most of the Middle Eastern countries that get punished by the United States and the sanctions is dealing with their oil. It deals with the oil. So if they can start selling their oil without using the petrodollar, that's why you have black oil on the black market that they talk about. But if they can start selling their oil to China in the form of yen to go around the petrodollar, the sanctions that they have on these countries, they can find a way to get through with the oil. But what that really would do is the dollar is going to collapse overnight. Whenever this happens, that's the only thing that's keeping this dollar irrelevant throughout the world. But the main thing that's keeping the dollar relevant is that all oil is being sold through the petrodollar. Once the petrodollar stops being used for oil, it's a wrap. And with that, I'm gonna be quiet and give everybody a chance to jump in. I got a lot of stuff on this to talk about.
Okay, this here, Master You, I might be jumping around a little bit, man, but definitely an interesting topic. But, you know, the whole thing with money will make the dollar, whether it be great or bad, is people believe in it. You know what I'm saying? Any currency becomes, you know, the power is in, like, you believe in it. You know, gold in and of itself is very valuable. So is, you know, silver and precious metals. But if people didn't believe in that anymore, then it would pretty much like lose its value. And what makes and I can't remember who the president was. I think you said it, Stewart, when he took us off the gold standard. And so now, you know, pretty much any money that you have exists in air. All somebody got to do is give you one too many zeros and one less zero. You get what I'm saying? That money don't necessarily exist in the bank. It just exists in air. They may have some cash in there, but they don't have enough cash for all the money that people who use the bank, they just don't have it. And there's nothing really to back it up. But again, what makes the dollar so powerful is the fact that America is like a global dominance. And even though there's countries that have oil and all that stuff, you know, pretty much America runs the world because of our defense system and the way that we influence so much stuff. And, you know, you could talk, and that's a whole nother bill and a whole nother conversation because, you know, in that black people pretty much influence the world. But again, that's a whole nother conversation. So for me, I think in order for the dollar to be taken out of, it would take a country like China now. Like China is slowly buying up stuff in Africa. And then from there, you know, China also owns like a lot of stuff here in the United States. The United States is in debt to China. And so I think now, if I'm not mistaken, the dollar may have kind of built up some of its value because, you know, China is going through a storm, man. People don't want to spend money over there, go over there and do stuff. So I'm not sure like how that's really necessarily affecting them. And also like in Africa, you got a lot of Africans now who don't want Chinese over there. So, you know, before this whole COVID-19, China was buying up a lot of Africa. There's a lot of resources in Africa. And I think I could be wrong. I think China was doing that so they could take America out. And if America is no longer dominant, then our dollar means nothing. It means nothing at all. And so anyway, that's kind of like, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. My fault. And so, yeah, and this just me, man. Again, what makes the dollar so powerful is our belief in it. We believe in it, and then the dominance of America. There's not too many countries that want to go to war with us. So the only way that somebody's going to beat us is to do what China's doing. If China owns Africa, if China owns so much of America, if China owns Saudi Arabia, if they own it, they can change the currency to whatever they want and say the dollar don't mean nothing. And so if I can't beat you from a military perspective, what I can do is I can destroy your money so you can't spend it. You understand what I'm saying? And so like, and I do this kind of snowballs in the whole COVID-19, and I'm not really a conspiracy theorist, but yeah, that's just my 2 cents, man, on the American dollar.
Well, yeah, you know, this thing with China now, and China got a lot to do with damn near running the whole damn globe, because if you ever actually think about it, you know what I'm saying, you have to see how this bank system is ran. And for one time we knew, you know what I'm saying, that dollar was backed up by gold. And like if you look at a lot of the banking systems, they have a lot of gold in their banks. So you got to look at what country has the most gold in their banks. You know what I'm saying? And whoever had the most gold in their bank, mess around, they're going to be running the whole world. Because you know our U.S. dollar is falling. So once it get to its lowest possibility, because, you know, they printing out so much money. So from the time they print out all that money, you know what I'm saying, that's going to be the fall of our dollar. And if they keep printing it, you know what I'm saying, it's definitely going to go out of existence, and our new currency have to come into existence, which is the digital currency. But you know, getting back to this ruling thing, you know, China got a lot of gold they stacking up on, and that's why China have a lot to deal with, a lot of power right now. I don't know if people actually realize that or not, but you know, for them buying up so much gold, and then you got a lot of other countries starting to buy up gold and stuff too, because our U.S. dollar is falling. And once our U.S. dollars fall, you know what I'm saying, all the other banking systems going to fall right behind it, you know. So that's my basic thing on that currency thing.
All right, so basically, my perspective is that, you know, it's going to be many currencies, many worldwide currencies that's going to collapse. Um, we already know that the American economy is definitely leading, so we're going to see, you know, the collapse, as we already see it right now, the collapse of the American dollar before many other countries. Nonetheless, there's many reasons, and I think that this pandemic really just accelerates that, and like we're already seeing many examples um, of that, even just on like a rudimentary level. Like, for example, just with it being a shutdown right now, many of us you might want to go to a particular restaurant to get like Qdoba or Chipotle, right? To get a meal, but they're not even accepting cash dollars, paper money, because you can't physically go in. So I mean, you have to have some sort of debit card, online transaction. You as far as pulling paper dollars out of your wallet and walking up to a counter and giving it to somebody, that has literally been cut off, not completely, but on a very large scale, as a result of this whole shutdown. And that's not going to do anything but speed up the collapse of the American dollar, and is actually going to speed up the use of digital currency in the wake of this whole pandemic as well, because a lot of people are going to find an alternative ways, you know, to pay for their goods and services and things like that. So digital currencies, and we also seeing that Congress and the United States government is also already looking into establishing their own digital currency, because they already understand that that the American dollar is crashing. But one thing, um, I think that, you know, what we was talking about the gold, and how, you know, regardless, what really protected the currency was the fact that it was backed by gold. So, like I was mentioning earlier, like me, for example, I'm an affiliate with Care Bars. It's it's a company for which has multiple different ways, but it's a gold company for, you know, customers to acquire gold um, in small increments, but just to be able to transfer paper currency into gold in these days of time, with the rise in price of gold and everything like that, is a good, safe protection to have, especially in the event of, like I said, the collapse of an American dollar or of a particular currency. No matter where you are, we know that gold is a commodity and a currency. Really, because they some people will argue and say that gold is not a currency, but if you actually look it up they actually still to this day define gold as a currency. So gold can still be utilized to, protect your finances, protect your assets. But as far as a day-to-day exchange, we already understand that digital currency is the next wave. So we're not saying that we're going to be expecting people to be utilizing gold, but digital currency, Bitcoin, even Karatbars has their own digital currency called the Carat Bank coin, which is actually backed by gold. So this specific currency is protected by gold in the mines in Madagascar and in other certain specific countries that Karatbars actually owns 100%. So it's like that's something that we kind of want to, re-educate ourselves on as far as protecting our assets, by and just kind of educating yourself on some of the benefits of digital currencies and things like that. So that's pretty much what I had to contribute on that.
Yeah, that's peace. And all y'all brothers hit it right on the head, man. And I've been dealing with Bitcoin since 2010. I've been dealing with digital currency since 2010. So I jumped on the wave a long time ago when I first heard about currency that cannot be manipulated by nobody. It's decentralized. And before I get on Bitcoin or digital currency, I want to go back. I'm gonna share my screen because I want to show y'all a couple of things, man. I want to show y'all this whole China thing. So I'm gonna try to tie this all in. So y'all, give me a second. I'm gonna share my screen on my phone. So y'all, let me because I got some stuff I want y'all to see, man. It was actually 2016 when China surpassed the United States in the consumption of oil. And we can go back into the timeline to see when did United States and China start having these trade wars. There's a lot with all this that's going on. So let me share. Let me see. All right. I'm gonna share my screen, y'all. So I call myself pulling this stuff up so I can make it real fast. All right. For one, we got to talk about the national debt of the United States. Everybody know United States is in a massive amount of debt. All right. Well, this right here talks about China. It overtook United States as the world's top crude importer. This was in 2016 when they overtook them. And, so that deals with them not wanting oil and the petrol dollar no more. I'm not going to read this. I just wanted y'all to see there's articles on it. They overtook, this was in 2016. Like around 2015 to 16, they were going back and forth with each other. Like United States would be ahead and China would pass. United States. But finally, China overtook United States and it ain't no coming back. Like United States because United States started, I think they started creating their own type of crude oil with the, what is it called, with the corn? I forgot the type they started. So they stopped depending on importing it from as much and started making it kind of more close at home. But they overtook them in that, right? So this was in 2016 now, right? Now, we all know United States is in debt. We all know this. And we all know that China owns a lot of United States debt. Here we go. Now, Japan owns the most of United States debt. Japan is 1.27 trillion. 1.27 trillion of United States debt is owned by Japan. We're looking to see who owns the second and most of the debt. It's China. China owns 1.09 trillion% of United States debt is owed to China. So you got China. We owe them a lot of money. China also has surpassed them in the oil thing. China also is telling these countries. That's why Russia and China started banking with each other. And Russia has a bank in China where they're backing each other with gold. Also, who is leading when it comes to digital currency? China. China has more exchanges. China and Japan has more digital exchanges than any country. China and Japan. right? So you got they leading in digital currencies. They consuming the most oil, and China owns the second highest amount of our debt, right? So I'm just get out of that. There was one more thing I wanted to show y'all, and then I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. It's the debt, it's the oil, and also the last thing I wanted to show y'all is United States. They were selling digital currency, and United States confiscated their Bitcoins. And in February 2020 of this year, United States auctioned off some of the Bitcoins. I think they auctioned off $37 million worth of the Bitcoins. But when initially you can buy like drugs, whatever, you was able to buy anything that you wanted to buy with Bitcoins, but it was on the black market. Somehow United States got a hold of it. They got a hold and they took all their digital currency. So my point, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. My point of saying this, y'all can research this on y'all, is that
I heard about that.
United States already got Bitcoins. The government already have Bitcoins. You have some candidates that when they run for office, they accept digital currency in their campaigns. So like the digital currency is already here and the government owns a big stack. The thing that the government right now is very afraid with when it comes to Bitcoin is that you can't trace everything. The blockchain leaves a ledger, and that's where most of the money is at with digital currency. It's the blockchain, because the blockchain is your ledger. So every time a transaction is had, it's on it. But it's ways that you can block it so they can't trace it. And this is the biggest thing that the government is afraid of, because they want to control everything. Everything is about control. Now, when it comes to currency, the purpose of Bitcoin was to rebel against stabilizing and controlling the world through money. So it was a guy named Satoshi Nakashi. Now, don't nobody know who this person is, that came up with the concept of digital currency. And basically what it is computers that's doing mathematical problems and it's solving the problems. The answer is what the money is worth. So the problems, they solving it. The answer is what they consider is the money now. It's the Bitcoin. So you have different types of blockchains now that's all meant to do different things. So when you're dealing with Bitcoin or when you're dealing with digital currency, you're dealing with something that is basically, like y'all saying, it's something that we're not going to hold. You're not going to hold your Bitcoin. It ain't something, but it's something like a debit card, but it's quicker. And the blockchain leaves all the transactions with it. And moving forward, it's digital currency is the only way to move forward, because it is the future. And once it was started, it's no stopping it. It's really no stopping it. Valuable is only a certain amount. That's what makes it valuable, because it's only going to be a certain amount, and at a certain time, there are not going to be no more Bitcoins. It's going through phases. And once, I forgot the total amount, I think it was like 24 million, 36 million, somewhere around that range. But once it reaches peak, it's not going to make any more. And that's what makes it valuable, because it's the original blockchain. Now, everything else that comes after that is off of blockchain, but it's still off the original. Carrot Bar is doing, I think, is genius, because Carrot Bar has came up with their coin and they're backing it by gold, by the Carrot Bar gold. And I think that is genius. I think it's very good, because it's genius to me, because now it's being backed by gold. But like I was telling Eric a long time ago, Bitcoin is gold 2.0, because Bitcoin has the option never get to, as far as how much money they're willing to pay one Bitcoin. Bitcoin got up to $20,000. It got up to $20,000 per Bitcoin, and gold ain't never got that high. And I don't think I don't think gold ever going to get that high, to be honest. I don't never think that it's going to get to that price. But the problem with Bitcoin is that most people, you use it like you're spending fiat currency. So it's still based off the dollar. So, the price of the Bitcoin, like right now, the price of Bitcoin is $9,000. That's how much it is right now, $9,000. I think it really has to change to get away from the dollar, because if not, it's still based off on the dollar. And but I do know that you got Litecoin and you got Ethereum. Ethereum is another form of digital currency that is on the blockchain, but it made its own blockchain. And that's why Ethereum is the second highest on cryptocurrency right now as far as price-wise. and it has children that came after Ethereum, just like Bitcoin is the parent and got well. And that's why they the highest too right now as far as the digital currency. But you know, man, y'all can jump in here. Don't let me just talk,
I know.
man.
Look,
Y'all jump in here.
I know. Look, now the only thing I completely agree with you on what you said. The only thing is I just think that like if we that Bitcoin is still tied to the American dollar. So if I want to cash my Bitcoin out, what they're going to hand to me is some American paper dollars. What I'm trying to say, the goal, regardless of whether cash bars or not, what we want to get to the point is that, you know, Bitcoin is backed by blockchain. Your value is protected by that. But ultimately, when we cash it out, we want to be able to get physical value, our protection, and the foundation of the protection of our assets. On top of that, I think that like I said, the way that we exchange our value and our assets is not going to be by way of the digital currency, preferably Bitcoin, like you said. I just think that, you know, if Bitcoin can develop a way where the standard of cashing out is, if I didn't have one Bitcoin and I wanted to cash that one Bitcoin out, I would get $20,000 worth of gold. That's the fact. That's the reality. The reason why that's not happening, like we said today, Richard Nixon signed and basically said that they're no longer going to exchange American dollars for the price of $35. So I can get an ounce of gold for 35 pieces of paper. Right? They changed that. He stopped that whole thing. So I'm basically, if we just get away from, you know, the standards that they pretty much established all over the world, which got everybody conducting business in this way. Once we get away from that and kind of just go back to physical substances as being the value, then I think that would strengthen the value of Bitcoin even more so, to the point where even it is not so volatile. That's why I say, because when we're dealing with the markets, we want to make sure that we're investing our money into currency, digital currencies, and different things that have the least amount of changing at a rapid pace, you know, out of our interest. You see what I'm saying? So we don't want Bitcoin to go up to, you know, $20,000 one day and then it's $10,000 the next day based off other factors like the American dollar. If it was backed by gold, factors like that would kind of be minimized a little bit more, especially, you know, and if other currencies around, it's not just about the American dollar, if other currencies around the world as well had their currencies backed by actual physical substance, gold, then I think that when we're dealing in the digital markets, we're so volatile. That's pretty much, you know, what I want to contribute on that.
Yeah, I agree with you, brother. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
So yeah,
we
I mean, that's pretty much it. We pretty much all know that that's what it is. Now, what I wanted to ask y'all, what's some of the other currency? I mean, that value is nowhere. So that's potential, but that's not, you know, right now. So what are some of the other currencies, and what are some of the other ways as far as capitalizing on digital currency? I can talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about. I think True Boy want to say something. I'm gonna add something in after you finish. Go ahead, True Boy.
Yeah, my thing when it comes down to like you were saying, you don't think gold will reach the same peak as Bitcoin. I kind of disagree with that there, you know, because you got to look at it, you know, thing like that. And the thing with our US dollar by falling, you know, I don't know if y'all really actually realize it or not, but Bitcoin is just like the US dollar. Actually, it's going off by the people's faith. And if the people don't have the faith in it, you know what I'm saying, to purchase it, then, you know what I'm saying, Bitcoin will lose its value. So that's the only thing that's really actually making Bitcoins, you know what I'm saying, stay up in price, because it's falling. So they looking for some other types of means of ways of, you know what I'm saying, holding on to some type of currency and having some type of wealth of it. So we just got to be versatile. So what I'm trying to say is, you know, okay, you know, since Bitcoin is up, you know, all right, you hold on to your Bitcoin, but at the same time, as Bitcoin's being up, gold is up to some silver, you know what I'm saying? Everything that's going, you know, that's holding that value. And even though that silver's down, you know what I'm saying, once our U.S. currency drop, a means of exchange, man, silver is gonna go sky high. Silver and gold.
That's true.
And the only thing that's backing that digital currency is if that gold wasn't going up, you know, all right. I put it to you like this. I've been checking out a lot of these things with these people buying this these hard assets, you know, silver and gold. And a lot of places I've been looking into buying, you know, different silver and different gold. And these people, if they make them, they go out. So silver and gold really actually is at a very top high, even though that is down low. And the market is always being manipulated. So when you heard that word that they talking about being manipulated, they not telling you really the actual. So when y'all hear that word manipulate, you can't really go by that all the time. Because I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm gonna give up all my gold." I mean, okay, yeah, it might drop, but once it drop and then it start going up, you're gonna say, "Damn, I wish I would have hold some of that," you know. But some people have a lot of gold, and I love gold. You know what I'm saying? I know I shouldn't be like that, but you know, I love it. So gold and silver is my thing. You know, this is what make a lot of people wealthy. We as black folks, you know what I'm saying, and not them white folks, man. They hold on to that silver and that gold, and what we hold on, we hold on to this thing that's called Federal Reserve note, which is, might as well just say, I owe you. That's all that is. I owe you, and that's why we so much in debt. So if you hold on to the real money, silver advance your life and make you be able to live the life of your dreams and have money, you know what I'm saying, for your kids and your kids, you know what I'm saying, future. And that's one thing that I love about this company. And this guy here, Harold Sykes, he did the best thing in the world for us as low-class people. I ain't gonna say poor, but low-class people. And small amount, something that's very valuable, you know, 24 karat. This ain't no 14 karat, no 18, 14 karat. Almost, you know what I'm saying?
24 karat. 24 karat.
Yeah, 24 karat. 24 karat gold.
I said 14, my bad.
Oh, well, you know. Thanks for the
all right, now I'm about to.
I'm sorry, Stuart. No, what I had some, I'll keep it. You get what I'm saying? So when I say this not a diss to gold at all. But what makes the value of gold and is the belief in the dollar. You get what I'm saying? Now, for me, gold is a worst case scenario. Like, you get what I'm saying? So like, if the dollar collapses, whatever it is, you can always go back on a precious metal. You know, you and I have built on that before too, Trueborn. But as long as America stands and the dollar does what it does, I mean, I would say have gold, but gold to me is like if everything collapsed, you know, gold. That's really have gold. And you know, and one thing with gold, if you're walking around with gold, if somebody steal it, it's gone. Outside of using a credit card, somebody, and I'm saying, if I lose $1, I lose $1. But if somebody steal a carat bar, a gold carat bar, somebody got to die. That's thousands. I'm ahead of benefits. There's benefits on both sides. Yeah. Some of y'all understand and get it, but for me, like with gold, it's hard to walk around and take gold to someone. Like, trust it to a bank. I don't want to trust it. I don't want to trust that precious metal for that. So you would have to take your gold and pretty much hold it and don't steal it. Again, don't get me wrong. Like, if I had gold, I would keep it. And I know I go to one of those shops and I can get, you know, money off. I can get cash off of the gold. I know I could do that. And with that being said, as long as you have stuff like cryptocurrency, you got the dollar, et cetera, I think it's people don't have no need to use it. I don't have a need to use it because they have other ways of spending money, other ways of doing things. I don't have to get what I'm saying. They can have that money that exists in space, and that has so many downfalls. I understand. But yeah, man. So like for me, that I would give it away. Like if Stuart want to come and give me some of that gold, I thought I saw him drop down or take it. You feel me? I ain't gonna turn it down. But anyway, I see the benefits on both sides, man.
Hey, look, hold up. Right. I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench in here real fast. Y'all know me. I like to throw. I told y'all earlier, Bitcoin is gold 2.0. And when y'all talking about manipulation of the market, the purpose of Bitcoin is so it can't be manipulated. The market is driven by the people. It's driven by the people. Like Trueborn said, it's the trust in the Bitcoin by the people that drives the market. Actually, to be real with y'all, Bitcoin is not going to be the best thing to use as this change of money because there's only a certain amount of Bitcoin. Bitcoin can be what the other types of coins, prices can be based off of. Because Bitcoin, I told you, it's only like 24 million. So like with 24 million, it's a certain amount. You got too many people. But what Bitcoin is meant to be is the standard, so the children coins can be based off that price, so they can have their own type of pricing. So that's why I said it's digital currency. I said Bitcoin is go 2.0.
Go ahead. Keep throwing them because I hear it. I got something for that
I
too.
got something for it too, man. Because I feel like Stuart.
Watch it. Hold on. Let me finish.
Okay.
There's no need for gold no more. They're moving into a digital age. Right now, they have something called smart contracts. Right. So with the contracts, like when you buy your house, you know, you get a contract, right? Well, right now with these smart contracts, they put it on the blockchain. I told y'all earlier, the blockchain is where the meat and potatoes at. Because right now, when you buy a car, they can give you a smart contract on the blockchain where you actually don't have to have the paper contract, but the blockchain keeps your record of your contract. We can talk about
That's
Bitcoin, we can talk about Ethereum, but we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. But I'm telling y'all, the purpose is rid of fiat currency in general. So fiat is the first currency to go, which is the dollar. It's gonna all fiat currency, and I'm gonna tell y'all, there's no need for gold no more, because we're like Master, you said, you're not gonna be walking around with a brick of gold in your pocket or in your. We're in a digital age, and when you move into a digital age, you have to have digital currency. You can't use old currency in a digital age, because digitally, that means we are buying stuff on old for your product that you're going to send me. Just actually think about this now. If you're, because we're right now, we buy stuff on the internet. So you buy stuff from China. You buy stuff from Europe. Well, I'm in North Carolina, and I'm buying products from people in New York. So how am I going to pay them with the gold? For one, you have to get the right amount of gold, for one. So I know what you're going to talk, or you have the gold, but the gold will have to be exchanged into something to use. That's my point of what I'm getting at. You're not going to be able to spend the gold unless the gold has something that you can turn it into. I can give you this gold, and you're going to give me something back in exchange that I can pay people with. That's the only way. But you can't take on Europe for products that they're sending you digitally.
That's a fact.
And in a digital world, you have to have digital currency. And now that's the only.
That's why. Now check it. That's where me and my brother.
If the power go out, your gold.
No, that's where me and my brother Trueborn are trying to come in at, because we're not disagreeing with what y'all saying. We understand that you can for commercial commodities in this day and time, 2020. It's not enough of it. It's not reasonable to use that. So yeah, we completely agree. But that's why we're saying that we need to have digital currencies backed by gold, because like you spoke about, is actually digital currencies are still liable to be manipulated in a kind of like a peripheral manner. Not right now, not directly. You cannot manipulate Bitcoin. We agree with that. But if, let's say, for example, the United States, who has the power to place sanctions on certain countries. Sanctions is basically America's allies and enemies around the world. Hey, if you sell this country anything, we're going to place a sanction on you. So a sanction is basically starving a particular country. And as America, by way of these sanctions, choose which countries they want to starve, they are manipulating the currency in that country and the value of the currency in that country, because now this country cannot use it. So the value of this currencies across the world are being manipulated. So now, when people are in those countries with the manipulated currencies because of these sanctions, are trying to purchase Bitcoin, guess what? The value of my Bitcoin is also affected, because the currency that I'm utilizing in my country is automatically affected. You understand what I'm saying? So, okay, I'll put it like this. In Venezuela, right? The currency in Venezuela was completely eradicated. And what contributed to that on that country. Now, The question is,
you can't sanction digital currency.
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
See, this is what you can't sanction it. So you can countries that you want, but you can't sanction Bitcoin.
That's a fact. So yeah, well, I agree with that. I'm just saying that until we get to a point where paper fiat currencies, these countries are utilizing fiat currency as a means to purchase digital currencies, then the markets of digital currencies are still going to, as being utilized to purchase the digital. If you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, so you can't, oh yes, I may not be able to directly manipulate Bitcoin. I can't directly manipulate Ethereum or even Carrot Bank. The United Nations, by way of sanctions and by way of international whatever they're doing, you know what I'm saying? If I can impact the value of your currency, then that means you can get one Bitcoin for $20,000 or for $9,000. Well, $9,000 US is not the same amount because America they physically made that so. Then guess what? They have manipulated, and by doing that, right, in a peripheral manner, they are still manipulating not the currencies, but the market in general, which is always going to keep the value of it at a certain level and manipulatable by nations across the world. So what we need to do, like I was agreeing with, we all said when fiat currency, paper money completely falls and the basis, the foundation returns to gold, which we all agree is not going to be used as a means of exchange. As to you mentioned earlier, a last resort, basically as a reference to your value and the assets that you own, not to be used as a nation. So we're going to have to wipe out paper money and utilize actual silver and gold as the means of actual foundational value. And until that point, the markets are still going to be volatile. They're still going to be jumping up and down because it's not going to be equal buying power. It doesn't have the same value as the euro, which doesn't have the same, you see what I'm saying? So once we get past all of that, and everybody got gold, once we get past all that, and the value of digital currency markets are stabilized, if y'all kind of understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that make total sense. You know, one thing though, man, and I agree with, I think again, as you said, Brother Nabat, with digital currency also, it's great. You know what I'm saying? We can move with that digital money and we can be anywhere and, you know, use it at any given time. The only thing I would say about crypto, control everything. I mean, you know, and they just are. And I guarantee you, man, there ain't no way in the world like a powerhouse United States. They don't have some people sitting back in some dark rooms. And the only way to cut that out, you have to pretty much come up with a plan like China, which I saw a long time ago, was to buy up other countries. And when you own other countries to go to war with you. But if you go to war with me, that don't mean I have to give you anything. You get what I'm saying? So like, yeah, I just don't see nobody taking anything from the U.S. Yeah, I'm talking about poisoning everybody over here, man. I just don't see. The United States got too many devils, man. And they got devils in other countries that do devilish things for them. And so I think they could control cryptocurrency. In a way. You get what I'm saying? If they can put us on some slave ships and bring us over here and we don't know nothing, trust me, they're gonna find a way.
Hey, I would tell y'all what the first thing something they did do was they got the SEC involved. The stocks exchange SEC, they got that involved when Bitcoin got up to 20,000. They got that involved, and it really stopped Bitcoin, man. That you can slow it down, but it's gonna keep on chirping. So what they did was a lot of investors at that time saw that Bitcoin was they saw the money that people was making. So you had these big investors pumping Bitcoin, and that's when it was really moving. So what happened was the government put the stocks in exchange. They started listing Bitcoin. See, what they did was they started listing Bitcoin on the markets and shit. And that I knew once I saw it, because once they start listing it with the stocks and stuff, they're gonna start regulating it, right? So that's what they did. They came up with the stocks in exchange. SEC got involved. So a lot of exchanges in the United States, these exchanges had to show that's hard for the exchanges to stay open. So a lot of the exchanges shut down in the United States because they have to follow these new guidelines. So you have to report your taxes, like all this stuff to be on the exchange. Let me show y'all something, man. I want to say, listen, the thing with digital currency, I'm gonna share my screen, man. The thing with digital currency is you can make a currency that is invisible. And I'm about to show y'all one that is no trace, that you can't. And so it's untraceable. So like it has a blockchain, but it's untraceable. And you can see all the currencies and the prices, right? You know, Bitcoin at 9,000. Look, when I about 2 weeks ago, I told people, I think Eric got some. I was like, hey, y'all need to start getting Bitcoin because it's about to have. Bitcoin is around 7,075. But listen, because it's gonna have around April the 15th. So, or between April the 10th and April the 15th is gonna have, because the people are mining. The mining is, they're supposed to be the 15th, but it's already been moved back to the 12th. So it may be back around the 10th, but the price is gonna keep going up because now people know for every one they have, it's gonna have, they're gonna have two. So people are willing to pay more for it. But let me show y'all the one that can't, it's called Dash. Where's Dash at?
What's the minimum amount that you could purchase as far as Bitcoin?
Say what?
The minimum amount that you could purchase as far as Bitcoin right now?
You can purchase as many as you, according to the blockchain. See, the blockchain is still producing Bitcoins, but so now the people that already have them, they will sell them. Never one person can control over 50% of them, though. That's why you can't manipulate the market, because it'll never be one person that is able to have over 50%.
Right. It's a limit on what you can purchase.
Yeah, it's on limit. But now, hold on. Let me go to Dash. Was up to $300 some one time. All right, here we go. Dash $83.25 right now. And you see the supply is 9.47 million Dash. That's all ever going to be made. That's the most it's going to be made, but it's untraceable. You can't trace my transactions in Dash. You got others that's like that is untraceable. So like, if they not, I'm sorry. It's children. Now Bitcoin, they can trace it on this blockchain. Now I'm gonna see how many Bitcoin gonna be made. So it's 18.36 million Bitcoin is gonna be made. I think it's 24 million. That's wrong. It ain't reached the peak yet. I think it's only like 24 million. Then it's gonna stop making them at all, right? But like, so you have Ripple. Now Ripple is one that XRP right now is trading at around 22 cents. Around 2 weeks ago, Ripple was more like 19 cents. Now Ripple is something that you have a couple places. MoneyGram, and Western Union is using Ripple. They're testing Ripple now because you know they Western Union money or you MoneyGram money to these people, to each other. Well, Ripple is so fast, it's only take like 5 seconds from the time you do it to the time you can receive it. So they're in the process of testing Ripple. But
okay, I was going to ask you, because what do you think the potential price of the Ripple coin could cost, and how many coins does Ripple compare?
Ripple can't be manipulated. Anybody in the crypto world would tell you Ripple can be manipulated. Ripple got up to like $1, $2.25. When Bitcoin got up to like 20,000, Ripple got up to $2. A lot of people made a lot of money off Ripple and sold it, but it can be manipulated. Anytime you have bankers that's trying to use a currency, like a digital currency, that means they know they can manipulate it. And there's reports on the owners of them owning over 50% of Ripple. But I don't care if it can be manipulated or not at 22 cents. You get what I'm saying? If I can get 5 of these for $1 and I spend $100, what happened? Let me mute my phone, y'all. Y'all talk.
Yeah, so I mean,
what happened? Stop crying.
Yeah, one of the things I just wanted to ask was what type of what would you think of governments creating a digital currency? Difference would that be from average individual who creates a digital currency? That digital currencies in general can be manipulated. Are we saying that Ripple is manipulated again, like I was speaking earlier, in a third party way, or like people on the outside kind of manipulating the currencies that's purchased in Ripple, or the processes? Because you were saying like Westy, you was mentioning transaction charges. If that can be manipulated, then the price of Ripple can be manipulated, not necessarily directly, but indirectly. So I was just wondering, what do y'all think as far as governments creating digital currencies?
Well, I think when this government really gets deep into it, I mean, because they already in process and doing it already. I'm in this with this bank called Chase, and Chase, they're in the process of making their coin as we speak. So I mean, the government, they they're going to work their way into it. But if things is done by the blockchain, then I don't think that they're going to have too much control over it. They might have the control over whatever coin that they have connected with the banks. They might have control over that. But, you know, people that have individuals that's dealing with another different coin and it's on a blockchain, I don't think that they will have so much control of that because of the blockchain. You know, and the blockchain, you know, is unhackable and it's hard to really trace it. So personally, the people that have their own coins and they don't have no coins that's tied to the bank, I don't think that they're going to be able to really actually have too much control over that, because that's controlled by the people.
That's a good point, True Born. But brother Nabai, you brought up something interesting with your question, man.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know too much really. I know a little bit about cryptocurrency, but probably not as much at the level of what you brothers know. But you know, you kind of got me thinking. And the True Born, you kind of alluded to this also. You know, if the government did do something, that they created their own cryptocurrency, and they said that they would not. If the government said that, if United States government said that you can't do business in the United States without accepting our currency. Like the same way, you know, when there was gold, when gold was a standard, you go anywhere in the world, as long as people accept gold, you're good. You get what I'm saying? And with the American dollar, I go anywhere pretty much in the world and use it. But I can't use the yen in America. I have to go to a place. I got to get it exchanged. So what if like a government pretty much said, like, and I'm piggybacking on what Brother Nabai said, if the government was like, look, that cryptocurrency will not be used nowhere in the United States. You have to use our currency. And if they created their own cryptocurrency, would that make all the other cryptocurrencies obsolete? And let's just say every country began to regulate their own form of, like they do now, just, you know, like we have fiat now. So America has their own cryptocurrency. This is called the dollar. And, you know, Japan, whatever, had the yen. Europe had the one called the euro. But these were all cryptocurrencies. It makes sense what I'm saying. Then what would happen to like Ripple and all the other stuff? Would they pretty much lose their value? And I ask because I really don't know too much
that's
about
a fact.
you know.
One thing I say that we have been seeing a little bit of difficulty is getting Bitcoin approved in multiple states in America as being able to be used as a currency, even though they will allow you, like let's say for example, they'll allow you to go to a currency, any currency exchange in America. They got thousands of them across the country. You can go to any currency exchange and you can transfer your currency, one currency into another. But can I go to a currency exchange and take any digital currency, whether Bitcoin, Carat, Bank coin, or whatever? Can I exchange that at a government currency exchange? They got a lot of pushback. Like I know in Amsterdam and in certain places they have approved it, where you can go inside a coffee shop and use Bitcoin, which is good. But that's a great question that you ask, is, you know, how likely is it that governments around the world will kind of centralize on a certain number of these particular digital currencies so that, you know, the value of any of them can rise up to a substantial amount. You see what I'm saying? Because you know, like you said, Bitcoin could be good now, but if certain countries decide, hey, we're not going to respect Bitcoin, we're going to establish our own, that could literally cause a whole conflict of interest in the digital currency market. And this is why I said that as long as the fee, and this is why the whole thing has to go back to the whole fiat currency, the paper money thing. Once that is eradicated and the foundation of value is simply digital currency to gold or whatever the world agrees on. It seems as though the world has been agreeing that the foundation currency in human history has been gold. So we either going to change that, you see what I'm saying, or we're going to stay with that. But as far as the fiat currency and as far as allowing governments to manipulate people's spending and commerce, is always going to be manipulatable in that way, and it's going to have a adverse effect. Also, I want to say that one of the things that we got to keep in mind now is the fact that we as American citizens, we are the foundation currency of America. You see what I'm saying? Think about it. You got a Social Security card, and you are the value that America utilizes. Is you basically are the spending power. When they sit at the world table, and they bargain for this and that, they're bargaining with you. They're bargaining with you and me. So it's not we got to change that and get it back to gold, right? Or else me and you will always be the ones that's expendable, and it'll never work for us because we are what's being spent. You understand what I'm saying?
The smart people in digital currency, the smart ones, they keep their stuff offline. So the smart ones, you don't know what they got because it's not online. And when it's not online, it's untraceable. That's the smart ones. But the problem with that is, and I know you have a lot of people that have Bitcoin that's not online. And the thing of it is, they can keep it offline for 10 years, and all of a sudden, Bitcoin gets to where they want it, sign in, pop it online, and what they do is you transfer it. And you have a lot of them that don't even transfer it into money. Like I have currencies and digital currencies, and some of it never get used for money. Like I invest in the cheaper ones. You know what I'm saying? Because you can buy currencies now. You got some currencies that's not even a penny. You got some currencies like Bitcoin. Initially, Bitcoin wasn't even a penny. When Bitcoin first came out, you was able to buy, it was called Satoshis. Bitcoin was like a tenth of a penny when it first came out. So people was buying it at a tenth of a penny, a hundredth of a penny.
Wow.
And you have currencies like that now. If I go back to CoinMarketCap, I can show y'all some currencies that's not even a penny yet. That people are buying in these currencies when they're a tenth of a penny, a hundredth of a penny. And that's like I was talking about, even with Ripple. I remember when Ripple first hit the market. Ripple wasn't even a penny. All these currencies, when they first hit the market, they like a tenth of a penny, a hundredth. They call Satoshis, but they're not even a penny. And you see them grow. So if you get in and buy 1,000 of something, that's a hundredth of a penny. Oh, you need that thing over 10 cents, bro.
Right.
And that's the advantage of digital. And the smart ones, when they made money, they didn't just cash out. Because you have to understand. Listen, they got one currency called I can't forget it. But it's something you use on YouTube, right? And you know how you get YouTube and you get subscribers, and it's called Steam, STE. Invest in, man. You find the currencies that fixes a problem in the world we living in today digitally.
Right.
That's what you do. You look at the currencies, you look at them and you find, okay, what is your purpose? What is the purpose of this currency? It's because every currency ain't meant, every altcoin ain't meant to be used as a currency that you spend, trade, or money. You have some that's for different purposes. What Steam is one that was to rival YouTube, meaning you own a YouTube platform, but when you get likes and you get views, you get paid Steam. So it's called Steam power. So you got people that, on YouTube, they get content and they get paid cash money. You got some people on YouTube that's getting paid in Steam. Where the price of Steam started rising. But you know what I'm saying? So like the whole thing with this currency, the altcoins is you find one that fixes a real world problem and you jump in it, man. So but like y'all said, it gotta get away from the American dollar. Now Venezuela is trying to come up with their own currency. I hope y'all know that. They're coming up with their own digital currency now. That's back off. You have I forgot this it's a brother that got an exchange that is doing business in Africa through digital currency, through Bitcoins and stuff. And wow, I can't think of his exchange, man. He's gonna be mad too if he see this. But damn, I can't think of it right now. But he has his own exchange and where you can do business in Africa, where you can take your American dollars, transfer into Bitcoins, and put it into projects on the mother continent right now. His name is Sinclair. Last name, damn, I can't believe I forgot the name of his own. Damn, I can't think of. But he has his own that you can use. So like You know, one time Kanye West had came out. Y'all remember Kanye West came out with his own coin? Y'all remember that, do y'all? Y'all ain't been following Bitcoin. Did altcoins like that.
No.
But listen, yeah, Kanye West came out with his own altcoin. 50 Cent. 50 Cent was using you was able to buy 50 Cent last album with Bitcoins. You know, 50 Cent into digital currency.
It kind of got a coin too.
Yeah, the thing with digital currency is we can make our own. See, that's the thing. We as black people can make an Afro coin.
Wow. Why can't we do that?
That's what I'm saying. That's what we need.
We need to create our own. Yo, that's a great idea. I'm glad you just brought that up. We need to create our own currency backed on the spending power and resources of the
Boris Watkins is in the process of launching his own digital currency. You just got to look into him because they're gonna have the EPO where you can buy in early.
Wow.
And that's when you want to buy in early. But Boris Watkins is in the process of doing this. Now, what happens? I told y'all, SEC got involved a couple years ago to stop the momentum of Bitcoin because it was gaining. I'm gonna tell y'all, man, the potential of one Bitcoin is gonna be $1 million. That's the max potential. It's $1 million per coin. The SEC got involved, I think it was like 2 years ago, because Bitcoin took off like a skyrocket. It done the same thing in 2000. I jumped in 2010. 2012, Bitcoin got up to around $1,500. Most people don't know this, but in 2012, Bitcoin got up to around $1,500 per Bitcoin. But what happened was the government jumped in again and it hit Silk Road. Silk Road was an exchange that the United States and Mt. Gox. So first it was Mt. Gox. Mt. Gox was in Japan, and it went dark. It went dark, meaning it went off the web and took everybody their money. That's what happened. So that was around in 2012. When Mt. Gox went dark, it took like $80 million worth of Bitcoins and went dark. Bitcoin started back dropping prices. It started going back down. So what happened was around 2014, it was picking up steam again. It was starting, it got back up to 800, 900, getting up to 1,000. And then the Silk Road shit happened with they doing illegal stuff. And the United States government confiscated all the Bitcoins, whatever. So it started dropping back down. That's when I was like, man, it's a wrap. I ain't gonna front, man. I gave up hope. About 2014, 15, I was like, man, after the second go round, I was like, it's done. I was like, it's done. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why I messed up. I keep it a buck. I fucked up because at one time I had like 15, 20 Bitcoins because I was in it at an early stage. I was in it at so early, man, that I'm talking about Bitcoin. They're like, what you talking about digital currency? Man, you crazy. You know what I'm saying? This is what people telling me. But so I got out of it. I was like, man, ain't no money in this, man, it's done. And then that's when I knew, like, around 2016, I started looking, and they started having ATMs that you can exchange your Bitcoin, but it won't mainstream like that. So I'm like, well, you know what? I might need to jump back in, but I never got, because at that point, it was around almost over $1,000. And then when it took off, I was telling people, though, I got people, man, I can bring on this show, bro, that'll tell you that they made buku money listening to me once Bitcoin, because I was telling people, I was like, listen, man, Bitcoin rising, y'all better get on. And some of the people actually started to the point where they sent me money. They sent me money because they listened to me and made money off of it. And they was returning the favor, like, man, you blessed me, and me and my husband, we listened to you. We was like, who you? And we made I had people comment, man, is this real? Because it's skyrocketing. Listen, I got people, man, that'll tell you. Like, I had a brother on his phone. He like, because he brought Litecoin. See, right now, Litecoin like $46, right? But back at that time, Litecoin was like $5. For the longest, Litecoin had been sitting around and would not go nowhere. I'm talking about for the longest, $5, $6. And Litecoin got up to $300 fucking dollars. It got up to $300 a coin. And I had people that had put like stacks into Litecoin. And niggas calling me on the phone like, yo, is this real? Yo, how I get my money off? They just, niggas just wanted to get their money off. And they was like, is this real? Like, yeah, it's real, bro. Yeah, take it off. I'm telling them how to exchange the money off Coinbase to get this shit off. And like, yo, so it's like, but I know when it comes to this, like I tell you, and I've learned, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't grow up in stock market, so I didn't know. I'm being real with this. I didn't know nothing about stocks. Bitcoin was my stocks. Like, that's how I learned about stocks, through digital currency. I didn't learn through the regular shit. I learned through digital currency. And throughout this 10-year period, you can't stop Bitcoin. I'm telling y'all, it ain't no stopping it, man. You can only slow it down. And watch what I tell y'all. What's today? What's today? Today the 2nd. Before Bitcoin halve, I bet you get up to 15,000. It might not get to, I want to say more, but before it halve, I bet you get up to $15,000 a coin. I want to say more. I want to say it's gonna test the lines of $20,000, but it ain't moved as fast as I thought it was. But it's moving. I bet you get up to 15K. Before it halve, they're gonna be up to 15,000 a coin, man. And when Bitcoin rises, everything else rises. That's why I told y'all Bitcoin can't be what we're gonna use for medium exchange. United States can come up with their own coin, and they can say that. See, this is the thing though. You can't dictate what I spend money with online. This is where Satoshi was a genius when he came up with this. You can't dictate it online. Because see, it's something called a dark web that you can buy shit with the dark web. So like, you can't tell me how I can spend my money online. What you can tell me is how I can spend my fiat money. You can tell me I can't use my Visa card. You can tell me that I can't use a MasterCard, but you cannot tell me that I can't exchange my Bitcoin into Dash and find something that uses Dash and send it to Dash, retwist it, and buy whatever you sell and get it sent to my house. If that's the case, if United States come out with their own currency, you best believe, I told y'all, Bitcoin is the father. Everything, Bitcoin is the parent. No matter what kind of currency you make, Bitcoin is going to be the parent. So as long as anybody using any type of currency, Bitcoin is the standard. So Bitcoin is always going to be the highest amount. And I don't care what the United States come up with. They come up with what they want to. But the standard of the price, how it's going to be based on how much it's worth, is going to be based off Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin is the original blockchain. So you can't have no blockchain unless it's connected to Bitcoin blockchain. So it ain't going nowhere. So I don't care what they come up with. And you can't tell, I'm telling you, man, listen, y'all, I will tell y'all, go to coinmarket.com when y'all get a chance and look at the currencies, right? And when you click on it, it'll take you to something where you can pick the websites. You go to the website and you can look at the ones that's decentralized and the ones that's centralized. And you go, once you go to the website, it'll tell you what the coin is for. It'll tell you what exactly the purpose of the coin. Some of them is so you cannot trace it. That's the purpose of it, is to be untraceable. So how you gonna trace something that its purpose is not to be traced? You can't trace it, man. And this is where we headed. And somebody saw this artificial intelligence, the AI. We here, man. And this fiat, and like y'all say, man, with fiat currency, it's all in what we say. We can accept an Apple for a payment. If everybody decides, you know what, man, I don't want the dollar no more. Listen, Eric, you know what, Eric, you got silver. You know what, Nabat, you got pairs. You get what I'm saying? Master, you work on cars. You know what I'm saying? Me, I build websites, right? So if we do business with one another and whatever we willing, y'all know the barter system, how they, you know what I'm saying? But whatever we willing to accept for our service in return is currency.
Right.
At the end of the day, whatever we willing to accept. So at the end of the day, we can bank the dollar at any moment if we want to. If people got the balls enough to say, and that's what's happening. That's what's happening, and that's why this stuff with China going on. I'm telling y'all what I know, man. I'm telling y'all some real shit when I talked about this petrol, and I can't say too much on the web, man, because y'all talk about how American can fall. I can tell you how. It's a two-part equation. It has to be something on the continent, and there got to be another country willing to understand what's going on and take their shot. It's that simple. It got to be. See, listen. When you y'all know the analogy they say, if you put a firecracker on your hand and explode, right, it's just gonna pop, right? But if you ball your goddamn fists up with that same firecracker, and you let that bitch explode, it's probably gonna take your fingers off with it, right? America has to explode from within.
That's right.
But the only way, but once it started exploding from within, that ain't enough. You gotta have another country that see, this is the opportunity. This is our chance. These niggas is starting, these niggas is fighting. Like on some real shit though. That's how that's the only way it's gonna fall. That's the only way. Ain't no other country gonna be able to go to war with America head on. It ain't happening. I don't care. You can buy you can buy all the land you want. That ain't, listen, America is wicked, bro. Anytime that they killed the Iranian general in Iraq, and only thing Iran do is shoot missiles at Iraq.
Right. Yeah.
Listen, and then y'all know the story with the general, right? The general was used by the CIA. That's a whole different conversation that people don't even know. That general was a puppet of the United States, and he was no longer needed no more because the policy in the Middle East is changing. That's a whole different conversation. But I'm telling y'all, listen, China is barking on something, and that's why this stuff with China is all going on, man. It's dealing with that petrodollar because Russia is with China. They're gonna start telling, look, we don't want the dollar no more. China gonna call this dead end. They're gonna tell you now, we want our money. All to take China and all to take. See, Japan, you ain't got to worry about, because Japan, after we done what we done to Japan, they can't have no army. All China got to say is, guess what? We want our money. Give us our gold.
I know one thing. In light of everything you just said, because you hit it right on the head. And what you just said, you mentioned Venezuela has also just established the currency based off of all of the resources of that land collectively. I think, now check it out. If Africa, the entire continent, and all of its countries truly unified and collectively establish all of its resources as the foundation of value for, like, let's say, for example, the A coin. It's an African coin that I think Acon. Let's say if they was to establish that coin based off of all of the resources of the entire African continent, Bitcoin, please, bruh.
Yeah.
I'm telling you reality. If that's going to be really, because politics will have to really play a part. External, it's a lot of factors that will really have to play a part. These countries will really have to come together and stop allowing European and Western powers to divide them, as well as Arab powers, because the resources is on the American continent in general. We know oil is definitely one of them, but you got gold, you got all of the resources for the technology that's being used on the African continent. So if they were to establish the digital currency backed by all of that, that would be the most valuable digital currency on the planet. That's just a fact. You see what I'm saying? That's just a fact. So I think that's something that will be very out there. I'm not sure how realistic that would be, but I like I said, I already see that Acon and most African countries is pretty much already heading in that direction. You just, I don't know how complete it's going to be, how powerful it's going to be, but it can definitely rival the value of any other country if they actually came together.
Yeah, you know what? And what's so sad about it? what's so sad about all this? Sorry to cut you off, bro. Is the way they got it is in Africa to even send money. Have y'all ever tried to send money to anybody in Africa?
Nope.
Well,
Never have.
I'm gonna tell you, I have. Oh, man.
Say that one more time.
I got a daughter in the Philippines, so I send money to the Philippines. I've been in the military, right? So now I send money to the Philippines, no problem. But when it comes to Africa, I gotta give them my ID. Like, you usually give your ID, but it's so much more red tape just to send money to Africa. And then the people that's receiving the money on Africa, the governments put them through straight hell to even get the money. Like, they want to talk to you on the phone, ask you how you know the person. Like all this shit just to send money, man. So what I'm saying is the world is stifling Africa. It's terrible how they're being stifled to the point wherein digital currency is their only way for like some of them to even receive the funds, like their internet service. Like when I went to Ghana, let me tell you something, man. Like they got SIM cards that you use, and I don't want to get too far off the subject, but they got SIM cards that they use on their phones and stuff like. So when you go over there, you got to get a SIM card. You put the SIM card in your phone. That's the only way you can get service. But they don't have internet like we have over there. They not letting them get this shit like we got, man. They overcharging them just for regular internet. Like, yo, it's crazy. It's crazy the way they treating them on. Now, South Africa is getting better, but that's because the white people own South Africa, man. It is what it is. Like, I mean, you have the brother over there with the red party. I can't think of his name right now. Not Mandela, but who?
Julia.
Yeah, Julia. Yeah. You have the brother over there that's like, yo, let's take our shit back. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, like they stifling growth over there. They hindering them. They like in Ghana, 97% of all the diamond revenue, all 97% of all the revenue of diamonds goes to France. Ghana only gets 3% of their own revenue off their own diamonds.
That's a fact.
Off their gold, off the gold.
This is the evil shit that we dealing with.
And this is
absolutely.
It's like, how can y'all leaders have? So I went over there like, how can y'all leaders have set up a deal that 97% of all your gold, and then you find out, nigga, it's so much gold over there. That little shit they getting ain't nothing. What you find out, that little 97% they think they getting, that ain't nothing. Man, gold everywhere.
But you know what, Stuart? I think people like France and China go to Africa and pretty much rape it. You know what I'm saying? There's a women on the line, so I don't think that's disrespecting anyone. Pretty much they rape it, man. I think why Africa don't fight back, and I think it's the same reason too why black people don't fight back a lot of times in the face of oppression, man. I think a lot of it has to do with like religion, and then another part of it is also what kind of, you know what I'm saying? And that's no respect to anybody's religion, but also on top of that, man, like who gonna have Africa out to get into a war? Because America gonna be like, you better get France's money, or we gonna come. You better get all of us our stuff. You get what I'm saying? And so Africa left like, okay, we got all these people and people saying a lot of stuff, but ain't nobody really put that work in to help us out. And them Africans sure ain't finna. I mean, them warlords will beef with each other. You get what I'm saying? They'll chop each other head off, but ain't none of them went over to South Africa and put no work in. Now, don't get me wrong. There's probably a couple of tribes out there who just don't care. Who just like they'll take anybody head off. But they can't do nothing against a Scud missile, man. Them little rocket launchers, a Scud missile, France, I'll bomb that hole. So what are they gonna do? Ghana has no choice, man. And even over here in America, man, like I've always been a fan, man, of Jeff Fort. He was a leader of the Black Peace Stone Nation. Man, don't get me wrong, like I never met him, nothing like that, man. A lot I don't know about him, but like just really, really hearing his story and the stuff that he was doing, and Like he unified black people, man. Make sure won't no drugs going on the neighborhood, none of that stuff. And then eventually he ended up getting locked up in jail for some other things. But you can take his story and you can look at the same thing with somebody like Malcolm X or Martin Luther King Jr. You use father-in-law here, and also a lot of great women that did a lot of great things, man. Anytime you have a group of black people who unify, they're gonna wipe it out quick. And so when it comes to us fighting back, man, like history, religion, and no help will have us with our tail between our legs, because we're not gonna beat these people, man, at no war. No matter what we say, yeah, we might beat some little country redneck out in the street, but we ain't finna take down the whole police station. I'm not trying to be funny. I know people. Yeah, you ain't finna beat the whole NYPD. You're not beating all them, bro. You may kill 5 of them, but they finna kill this whole block.
Hey, yo, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
and
look,
they getting off.
You hit it right over the head, bro. But look,
real.
I would tell you one thing about Africa, man. They took the warriors, and they know it. The Africans on the continent would tell you.
You said they took the warriors?
They took the warriors, and they took the brains away from the continent and brought us to America. They would tell you. And the other warriors that was left, a lot of them got massacred because they fought and they got wiped out. But majority of their warriors and the builders was brought to this continent. And that's why we built this country up instead of building Africa. We wonder why Africa is behind. Because the warriors, the builders, the mines, they brought us over here. And
you saying we the descendants of the warriors?
Not only the warriors, the kings, the builders, the architects, the teachers. That's who we are. And they will tell you this when you go over there, because they don't have a sense of this is ours. They understand that it's ours, but they don't know they don't have the sense of fighting for it's ours. You know what I'm saying? They know it's theirs. They know they have culture. They proud of their culture, but they don't have that sense of protecting their culture. They don't have it because we were the ones that been protecting it. So, but even if we would have stayed there with this beast that we under, you right. With this military dominance, you right. But the one thing that can happen and must happen and is gonna happen over there is they're gonna start overthrowing the governments. The youth are rising. The youth has internet now, so they're able to see YouTube. They see they want what we got. And they're gonna force their leaders. Listen, I'm going back. We talk to the youth. Listen, they're gonna force their leaders to start reneging on on this stuff that's going on, these old contracts. They're gonna force the leaders to renege, and if the leaders don't do what they're supposed to do, they're gonna replace their butts with somebody that's going to. Now it's a rough road, because at the end of the day, when you talk about the warlords, we don't know how they use tribes or they find out that this area got precious metals that they want. I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story. We're gonna get off here, man, because I got this. I don't want to be able to too late, but I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story. Gambia. It's Gambia. No, it's Senegal. Senegal is the diamond mine. Senegal don't have an airport to land into their country. You know that? To get to Senegal, they have an island that the plane would bring you to an island, and you gotta get on a speedboat to get to Senegal.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
But check this out. How do you think they're getting all these diamonds out of Senegal? Because airplanes are landing, private jets are landing, getting these diamond mines flying out, but yet you can't get a commercial plane to land on the island. That's the manipulation that is going on, wherein they have private jets that are land on the country close by the diamond mines and extracting diamonds out. But yet you can't even take a commercial airline into Senegal. You got to get to an island and ride a speedboat to get to the country. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. And what they're doing is they will weaponize or give people guns, go and get rid of people in a certain area because of what is under the soil. So it's a lot of manipulation. It's a lot of corruption with the African leaders.
So how do we beat that, Stuart? Like, how do we, if it is, you know, because a piece of me, man, you know, a piece of me feel like, and and Trueborn, and he might be a testament. I know what the lessons and stuff say, but a piece of me kind of feel like, man, that devil ain't going nowhere, brother.
Hey,
no matter what we do.
All right, this is what I'm gonna do. Hey, peace and black power, everybody. We want to thank y'all for watching the show. We'll catch y'all the next go round. We thank y'all. We love y'all. Peace.